There's guys walking out the door with $1 million. So I would think if a kid got in today, he's walking out with $2 million in his 401k, plus he gets his pension check every month. So he might be getting $5,000, $6,000 check every month.
So you're living comfortably.
Living comfortably, plus Social Security, and a lot of locals have subsidized health care. So, you're getting your Medicare and Medicaid, but you're also getting stipend to buy Part D and things like that. So the benefits always outweigh the wages.
All right, welcome back to the Lost Art of the Skilled Trades. I'm super excited to have Tom Bigley, Director of Plumbing Services of United Association. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, 100%. The action here is just unbelievable. The apprentices who are working way over there, for the people who can't hear, these kids are doing wonderful, wonderful things with their hands. What's the action of there? Did you go over there?
Yeah, I've been checking it out. Been pretty involved with the apprentice contests over the last 20 years. So when we brought that back, the contest back, I was a business manager in Pittsburgh Plumbers Union, and it was a lot of work getting it started from scratch, but now it kind of runs itself. But, you never know whenever you get into that contest where it's going to lead you. And I always tell a quick story. I was in Abu Dhabi I was there because I was a board member of the World Plumbing Council, and there was a gentleman from Massachusetts competing for the United States, and I'm watching them, and they had a break. He came over, and I introduced myself. I guess if you ever need a job, call me, and that's all I said. And I walked away.
Yeah.
But 7 years later, he called me, and he says, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me." I said, "Yeah, I remember you." And he goes, "I need a job." So I called around and I got him a job. Now, today, that guy's running work. He's got 16 employees working for him.
Oh, wow.
So I really think that these contests really develop their skills in leadership positions. And, someday someone over there is going to be running a mega job,
What's the skill set? What do you see that these kids are successful? What is that trait? What do the years that you've seen them? What's the quality?
I really believe it's communication skills. If a guy can come in a room and just light the place up, he's not shy and things like that. He's able to talk to people. That's what I look for when we're picking apprentices. I always look for the guy that is like good in sales. And even if he's 18 years old, he might not have that yet, but some people are just born with it.
It's got that wow factor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, you always, if they get a little bit older, if they go into automotive or landscaping and things like that, the guys that are working with their hands are showing up every day. That's the guy I want. I want that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or lady, I'm sorry.
Or lady. But, some of these, like you said, they're going to have a prosperous, career path working with their hands. What was your sort of journey in the trades? If you can, roll back, the time, what was your journey of getting into the trades?
Like I said, I'm from Pittsburgh. So when I was coming out of high school, everybody's parents worked for the steel industries, right? So either you went into the work in the steel, go to college, or go into the trades. And my father was in the trades. So obviously I gravitated to that and I went into trades. But I started in high school as a laborer digging ditches. In Pittsburgh had their own laborers union just for the plumbers. So it was the plumbers laborers union. And all they did was they would dig ditches and stuff, places where a machine couldn't get. So I did that in the summer. And then, I started at a driver's license. I was delivering material. So I was hooked right away. I wanted to do that. Always had money in my pocket. And
was your dad excited that you were going down this path?
I'm going to say, yeah. Yeah, he wasn't against it. My mother was, she wanted me to go to college. I was a good student in school. So, but my older brother was already a plumber. And then 10 years later, my younger brother went into
it's a whole family.
Yeah. So my son as well, my son got in and, but he didn't like the plumbing. He got out of it and he went into welding and, his career was the welding, path. And right now he's a training coordinator for, Pipeliners Union out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. So he really went away from the plumbing.
So you got to find your passion, right?
Yeah.
If it's not plumbing, it's welding, and still a great path.
Well, I think any of the trades, you think if you go into plumbing and you think you're going to be pigeonholed in it, just working on a job, putting a plumbing together, there's a lot of other things that it leads to. You could be, working as an estimator, working as a project manager for one of our signatory contractors, or go into business, right? So there's a lot of other opportunities, not just plumbing. There's other things that you could do. And I think a lot of the kids, when they're looking at careers, they don't see that. They think that, oh, I'm just going to be working in somebody's home, working on their plumbing. Whereas, you could be working at a zoo, you could be working at a sewage treatment plant, a water treatment plant. There's a lot more things that are a little bit more, maybe say the word exciting, but we're competing against all the other trades for the candidates out there, and they have a lot of choices. But plumbing's it's a very gratifying career. Look where I got to. I take care of all the plumbing for the United States and Canada. And also have been the chairman of the World Plumbing Council. So there's a lot of things just from a kid coming out of high school and taking up the plumbing. I've been able to build a career out of it more than just working with the tools.
Well, they say we need about 550,000 plumbers by 2027. We're trying to reach Gen Z, ages 13 to 28. What are you trying to do to reach that generation, and how do we go about doing that? Because they have so many different options, right? They could be a coder, they could be programming, they could be AI. But the trades is a great path. How do we reach them? Your perspective.
I think you have to get to their parents, and if you can educate the parents, and then the parents take, they do the educating our next generation at the kitchen table. I think a lot of parents don't realize, there's no cost for the education. You go to school for free, you work while you learn, you get benefits right away, health care, you start your pension contribution. So that's a lot of things that their parents didn't have. And they're like, wow, I didn't realize that those opportunities exist, and the pay was so well. So we're starting a little bit early. We're doing all the above. We're going to trade schools, go to the high schools. We have career days at our training centers. We spend roughly around $300 million a year on training. And that's not any government money. That's all our members' money that they put us, comes out of their paycheck to pay for training. So, you think about it, $300 million every year we spend annually on training. And there's over 300 training centers throughout the United States and Canada. So we are the elite of training for the plumbing industry and the HVAC and the welding and things like that. So yeah, we're not really having a hard time getting new candidates. You're from New York City?
Yes. Well, lived there for almost 14 years.
So, they line up a day or two before they start taking applications. They had to get porta-johns on the streets to get over 1,000 people applying for those positions. So we always say we're the best kept secret, but maybe hopefully on things like this so we can get the word out there.
Yeah, I think it's just about them knowing exactly what they can do or what the path is. And I really want to shift over to understanding the union, how to get into the union, because there are kids out there that look at it and they say, well, I tried to get in the union and I couldn't get in because there were too many people. I got waitlisted. I feel discouraged. How do you keep somebody motivated who, like you said, there's lines and you just can't get in? What would you say to those people? How do you keep motivated?
Well, I think if that's something that you're head set on, that's your career choice. There's some things that you can do to make yourself a better candidate to get in. Go to a trade school in your area and maybe pick up some skills there. And then as you come in for the interview, you already have experience. You went to school and things like that. But I wouldn't get discouraged. Like you said, we need so many people right now. We're having have to pay per diem now to get employees to go to certain places. And I always say I was born at the wrong time. These guys are getting $125 a day just to show up for work. And
Unbelievable.
It's crazy, right?
Unbelievable.
I strongly encourage, to keep trying. Sometimes you don't get in the first time, or maybe you said the wrong thing during the interview, but, they're asking questions. They're basic questions of what's your work ethic? Can you show up on time? Can you work a full week and things like that? That's all we need right now.
How does somebody prep for the interview? Like, how can they get better? Like you said, go to trade school, but what else can they do for someone who's just like, I really don't know how to improve. I don't know what to do.
So most of the tests throughout the country are a basic aptitude test and basic math. Plumbers use a lot of math. So just knowing how to read a roll, take a roll out, figure out how you use a role and things like that. That's, that would help a lot during an interview. So,
Not everybody knows how to read a tape measure.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, reading a tape measure, basic math skills, you know, just being able to show up on time, be there in the morning, ready to go to work, have a decent vehicle, things like that. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah. I mean, those are some of the basics, not always followed, but those are the
Right.
basics to really maybe set you apart.
Don't need experience. We're not looking for anybody who has experience. If you have it, that's great,
Yeah.
but you don't have to have experience. We'll teach you. We just want those, we need to have those good motor skills, communication skills. We'll teach you the trade.
Yeah. I think also out there, kids think that they need experience to
No.
get in.
Yeah, I can see that. But yeah, when I was a business manager, I always liked to get the guy that didn't have experience because I want to train them our way. I don't want them coming in with any bad habits. And, but everybody can change. And we have 5 years to mold and brainwash you. I call it selective brainwashing.
Yeah. Well, it is a brotherhood, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I almost say it's community brotherhood. It's being a part of, a group, and everybody's there for each other.
Brotherhood, that's what it is. And, it's a sisterhood too, as well.
Yes, of course.
We're trying to recruit the next generation of workers, and 50% of the population's women. And we've made major steps on making it more accommodating to women on the job sites. Not at one time that was frowned upon to have women on job, but not anymore. They're accepted, and we still have some things that we have to fix out there. But it's a great career for a woman as well. My daughter always says this. She's an occupational therapist. She said, if I would have known what the benefits were, I would have went into the trades, because our benefits are so great. You work 30 years, you come out and you have a nice pension, you got subsidized healthcare and things like that. So, yeah, it's a great career for anybody.
It's good that you're describing that, because being a part of the union, yes, the benefits it outweighs a lot of things, right?
Right.
Going maybe a different direction, or maybe non-union. But you have to get into the union. That's the first step.
Well, we're trying to get out there and get the message to our competition, our open shop competition. There's a lot of good people out there that don't belong to the union, and we're trying to educate them. Hey, being a part of this program, you still have your autonomy. You're not part of. You can do your things the way you do. You just, we have this pay scale and benefits, and this is what we have. Like right now, walking around the show, everybody's looking for people. We have people. We have that, almost 400,000 members that we can get to you anytime. And if we don't have the people, we have the resources to go out and find them for you. So, I always say a non-union or a open shop contractor is a friend I haven't met yet.
What's the average age in the unit? Is it slightly on the older side? What's...
I'm going to guess here. I haven't looked at that for a while. It's probably around 43.
43.
43.
Okay.
And our apprentice average age is around 25 to 27, which would like to bring that number down.
Yeah.
Seems like this generation, it takes them a little bit longer to figure out what they want to do. So they're coming in a little bit older. But yeah, would like to get that number down to 19, 20, 21. That's a good age to start, because the younger you are, the more that you pay into the pension program. And then when you get out, you're going to have more money. So that's our goal, to bring those numbers down.
What if you're slightly older and you want to start your path, and let's just say you're 35? Is it hard to get into the union at 35?
Maybe 40 years ago. Today, experience goes a long way, and we need people everywhere. In 35 years with experience, man, our contractors are jumping all over that, So yeah, we don't discriminate on anything. We need people right now.
And outside of obviously going to schools and recruiting, anything, can you speak to anything social media that's being done by the union to really kind of get out?
You're talking to the wrong guy. They do everything. There's our IT department and our organizing department. They use all that, but that passed me by.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I always feel that you have to meet them where they are. Right. So if they're scrolling on TikTok or they're on YouTube, right, that's where your audience is, and you need to kind of go there. So like podcasts like this that get shown on TikTok and YouTube, it gets shown to those individuals who might pique their interest
I
to
thought
maybe
you,
work with their
I
apprentice.
thought you said when I came here I had a face for radio, so I wouldn't want to.
Exactly. No, it's all good, but I definitely think it's a great path for somebody. Obviously, the benefits. As far as can you speak to anything about the wages so people can understand what a typical first year apprentice would make versus X amount of years and how that kind of goes up from there?
Sure. So those pay scales are different in every
Sure.
jurisdiction. So what they make in New York City, they don't make in Pittsburgh. But I'd say the average starting first year apprentice with no education or any skill level is around $21. Plus, they get healthcare benefits and they start their pension contributions, and they have a 401k. So you have the defined benefit plan is a pension plan where you get a monthly check for so many years service. So let's just say my pension credit's worth $200 a year. If I worked 1,500 hours a year, you take if I worked 30 years, it was $200 times 30 years. That's my check every month when I retire. Now, I also have a 401k. My 401k is the money I contribute in here. So these guys walking out now, I left my home local 15 years ago. There's guys walking out the door with $1 million. So I would think if a kid got in today, he's walking out with $2 million in his 401k. Plus, he gets his pension check every month. So he might be getting $5,000, $6,000 check every month.
Do you living comfortably?
Living company plus Social Security, and a lot of locals have subsidized health care. So, you're getting your Medicare and Medicaid, but you're also getting stipend to buy Part D and things like that. So the benefits always outweigh the wages. But when you're young, you don't think about that.
No,
you just
don't.
want that money, right?
Yeah.
But the benefits when you start getting 40, 50, 60 years old, you're like, you know what, it's time to go. And can I afford to go? And when you belong to the union, those benefits, that's when it really pays to be union, is when you're ready to retire. But yeah, every year, if you start out as an apprentice, every year you get a raise. So you get a collective bargaining agreement, they get a new collective bargaining, you get a raise that way. But as you complete your schooling, second year, you're going to get 40% of journeyman, third year, 50%, 60%. And then when you get out of your time, it's a 5-year program. When I went, it was 4 years. We were a lot smarter back then, so we only had to go 4 years. But
what's the extra year? Why is it an extra?
Well, it's technology. There's so much more that they have to learn that we didn't have to when I went. I've been in 44 years, so imagine what we have today that we didn't have back then. So with all the new technology, you just got to you got to stay ahead of the curve, so you need to go to more hours to get the training. And never hear any complaints about it. This generation, that's what they want. They want to know that, they want to know the new technology. They embrace it. We're the older guys, they want to push away from it,
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen the evolution over decades where the technology is going. I'm sure it's much safer as well.
Oh, absolutely.
From the PPE and everything.
Yeah. I was in Detroit a couple of weeks ago and went on a job site. No extension cords and no ladders on the job. And I'm like, why? It's a safety thing. You can't have ladders and you can't have extension cords. So that was shocking for me. I was like, oh,
Yeah, things have changed.
Yeah. Yeah, for the good.
Yeah.
For the good. Yeah, absolutely.
Look, it's about keeping, them safe and getting home to their families. That's the most important.
Coming home with all your fingers and toes, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
10 fingers, 10 toes.
In this generation too, you hear it all the time that they want more of a balance in life and things like that. And they can have that, with the unions, we're no different than anybody else. I want a vacation and I don't want to work all these, hours, 60 hours, 70 hours a week, whatever. But if you want to, it's available. So there's nothing mandatory to that. They have, if they want that balance of life, they want to go home, be the Little League coach and work at their church and things like that. We understand that. That's what the union's about,
So if I want to get started tomorrow, what do I do first? If I want to find out more about the union, somebody's thinking about going down that path.
Go to our websites. So you can Google www.ua.org, put where you live, and then that local website will come up and it'll tell you when they're accepting applications, what you need to apply. If you need a driver's license, GED or a high school diploma. Everybody's a little bit different, but those are usually the basic things you need to get an application. But they'll sit down. You can go down that hall and just go in there and walk in and say, "Hey, I want to join a union. How do I go about it?" They'll take you for a tour of the training center and they'll tell you exactly what you need to do. But starts with the website. Go to the website, look on there. There's some very good training videos, show you what we do and things like that. Yeah, I'd go to the website first.
Go to the website first. Yeah, that's great information for the people they just don't know because maybe they don't have anybody in their network. They don't know a friend or family member who's never, gone down that path. So it's a good opportunity.
Yeah, we don't discriminate on any, if you don't have a family member that, I'd say that was the way it was 50 years ago. You had to know somebody,
Yeah.
but now it's,
Can you debunk that? Because I think people still think it's like that. It's not like that.
no,
Yeah.
nobody even knows anybody anymore. It seems like a lot of the older plumbers generation, they steered their kids away from the trades. Like, I don't want you to do what I did. It's hard work and this and that, but it's kind of going back to that way where everybody wants to get into trades because they're making, you go to college and you come out with $200,000 of debt. You can go to the trade and then you get a job that's only paying $100,000. You can go to trades, no debt for education, and you're going to make $150,000 a year. So, the math don't add up there. So it's starting to come back where the trades are becoming more popular than college.
Yeah.
But you don't need to know anybody to get in anymore. It's just whoever has the willingness that wants to work every day and wants to contribute to the organization, maybe come back and teach and things like that. That's the people we're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. You want the right people. This has been a blast. If people want to just remind people what the website is, if people want to find out more about the union.
It's www.uanet.org. I hope I got that right.
Okay. We could always fix it in the show notes. So,
but yeah, if you want to apply, get on there. It'll send you right to the city where you're from. From Pittsburgh, you want to be a steam fitter. It's Steam Fitters Local 449. If you want to be a plumber, it's Plumbers Local 27. And if you want to be a sprinkler fitter, it's Sprinkler Fitters Local 542. So every city has
got
different
options.
locals. Yeah, there's some are combination locals. It might be plumbers, pipe fitters, and it might be sprinkler fitters for the whole state. So the big cities are mostly separate. Like New York City has pipe fitters, plumbers, sprinkler fitters.
Yeah.
So we represent welders who's, HVAC service techs. We represent pipeline welders that work the pipelines across the country. We metal trades that work in our military installations and places like that. So that we're not just plumbers. We represent a lot of trades.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people know that, which is great that, now they know that there are different trades out there under the organization. Tommy, it's been a blast to have you on the show. Thank you so much for stopping by here, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.